Both AISF and ABVP got the equal vote when he contested, and it was decided who will win, like who will win the election. It was supposed to be decided by the toss, and the Pradhan won the election by toss. Mr. CGI himself is a founding member of CJP because he's the proponent of the idea that he called people cockroaches. He called everybody cockroaches. So the whole credit goes to him only. It was his idea that this movement should rise. I would tell you very frankly, very proudly, that it was AISF which took the initiative of coordinating the left student organizations with the CJP. The first coordination meeting that happened at the Press Club of India in Delhi, that was coordinated by All India Students Federation. No estimation, the police estimation is around 5 to 6 lakh students were there on the 20th July protest. It was too huge. We never imagined. Lakhs of people came to New Delhi with just one demand, that Pradhan should resign. People are saying, don't lathi charge us, shoot us if you want to, but we will not leave this place. I can tell you very frankly, I'm feeling so conscious right now because all my senior leaders are sitting here, and it was my first time sharing the stage with Comet Bino as well. So speaking in front of the public is a different thing, and speaking in front of your leaders is a different thing. So in our internal meetings we can talk, but when it comes to the public meetings where your leaders are sitting with you, they're listening to you. So that makes me very unconscious, and that is what is happening right now with me. But I would like to thank you, the leadership of the CPI Kerala, that they have given me the opportunity to come here and speak in front of you and share my experiences during the CJP protest, the Jantar Mantar, the Gen Z protest, we can say. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity. So, there are a lot of things to discuss. I'm unable to figure out how to start because past 2 months were so hectic for all of us. I was sick. I was on bed rest, and I hardly recovered, and this protest started. And all of us, all my comrades, the activists of AISF, everybody started running, and we started mobilizing people. No, this movement, it has, we have learned a lot from this movement. I would tell you very frankly, because this was in a very unprecedented, decades we have seen that that anger within the public is there, the frustration is there, but we could not give it a direction. And this happened, like when Lenin says, there are decades where nothing happens, but there are weeks where the decade happens. So that is what happened in Delhi, that is what happened in this country. And the government, which clearly said that there are no resignations in the India government, we do not believe in resignations. They had to force to resign one of their top leaders from the ruling dispensation, not just a leader of a BJP, but a core RSS person. Because for RSS people, we all know whenever they come to the power, their first of their target is basically the education sector. They try to infiltrate the education, they try to take over the education sector, they try to infiltrate their people inside the system. So obviously for them, education sector matters a lot. And for them to remove Pradhan, even the RSS was very much against it. They were not willing to, they were not ready to surrender Pradhan at all costs, because he was a big man in their eyes, and he started his career from the ABVP, and many people do not know this, that the principal opposition when Pradhan contested his first student election, it was AISF. It was AISF which fought against the Pradhan back then. It's very interesting to share that both AISF and ABVP got the equal vote when he contested, and it was decided who will win, who will win the election. It was supposed to be decided by the toss, and the Pradhan won the election by toss. So that's how his political career started back in Odisha. And it was very unfortunate that we were called as parasites, cockroaches, and nobody could have imagined that we could say that the CGI, Mr. CGI himself is a founding member of CJP, because he's the proponent of the idea that he called people cockroaches. He called students, activists, journalists, lawyers. He called everybody cockroaches. So the whole credit goes to him only. It was his idea that this movement should rise. And when people say this movement is backed by the deep state and BJP RSS, they should be very careful when they say these things, because the CGI himself is basically give the idea that the movement should happen. So this all these narratives used to, like, they were spreading across social media, across our narratives. Even the political parties were in confused state of mind. The student movements were in confused state of mind. What to do when this phenomena suddenly came forward, and millions of people started following this meme page. It was a meme page initially, and nobody thought that it would bring down the government to its knees. Nobody thought about it. When we started with the demand of resignation of Pradhan, we never thought that this would happen. What we expected, the least, that through cabinet reshuffling, he may be given some other portfolio. But resignation, nobody would have imagined it. Even the people of CJP, Abhijit Dipke, other people, neither our left organizations, AISF, all other organizations, we were not sure that this will happen, but that happened. So it all started so suddenly. The 6th of June protest, which was called by the CJP, because people started asking questions whether this platform will remain virtual or it will come to the streets. So people started putting expectation on them, and they took it as a challenge that, okay, fine, we will go for it. And it was a litmus test for the CJP and for all of us, that let us see if people can mobilize. And the 6th of June protest saw some 2 to 3,000 people coming to Jantar Mantar spontaneously with no coordination at all. The arrangements were so messy, so messy. There was no stage, there was no proper mic system, there was nothing. Like, people were just running here and there. There was no coordination at all. But that served as a litmus test that people can come. And then another call was given that 13th of June people will come back to Jantar Mantar, but obviously it was not possible, and it was a very well thought of, like, plan that let us move across India, let us at least visit some major centers of India where we could convince people to come to Delhi, and let us take this message to the public, not just virtually, let us go there physically. So that was decided, and then this 20th June. Parliament March, 20th June protest call was given. And initially it was decided that Abhijit and his friends will sit on Dharna on 6th of June itself. It was decided that Sonam Wangchuk will accompany them. So they had a plan that, okay, if we are going to Jantar Mantar, we'll sit for Dharna indefinitely. But that could not happen because of a lot of reasons. But when this 20th June Dharna started, I would tell you very frankly, very proudly, that it was AISF which took the initiative of coordinating the left student organizations with the CJP. The first coordination meeting that happened at the Press Club of India in Delhi, that was coordinated by All India Students Federation, because we believed that if we are going for such a big initiative, and if we want to have a dharna at Jantar Mantar, and especially at the times when the campuses are closed, the timing was very much problematic, because the JNU, DU, Jamia, all the major institutions in Delhi, they were in vacation mode. So students who were particularly studying in Delhi, they were outside. So how are we going to mobilize the people? That was a big concern in front of us. So then we decided that, okay, we'll go for a coordination. We'll think about it. How are we going to manage the protest? How are we going to manage the logistics? How are we going to take this movement ahead? Because we never thought that we will pull it off till the commencement of the parliament session. We never thought of it, because it was not possible. On 6th of June also, these right-wing elements started infiltrating the protests. That did not happen after 20th June. It started on the 6th of June only. Like, when we were there, Comrade Annie Raja, Comrade Nisha Singh Sidhu, our comrades of AISF and AIYF, they were beaten up by this RSS goons at Jantar Mantar of 6th of June, the first protest itself. The same day we got beaten up by these people. We filed an FIR, we tried to speak about it in public, but that started on 6th of June, and that kept going on. Like, I was there in Jaipur the same day, then that time Abhijit was slapped by one person. He was saying that he's a nationalist, and that's why he was saying there is no paper leak at all. So like this incidents were like kept happening, and 20th June protest, we could all think about it, and we we decided to sit on indefinite dharna, and indefinite dharna was not possible because the Supreme Court guidelines are very much clear that in New Delhi area, first of all, you cannot sit on, you cannot do any protest in New Delhi area except Jantar Mantar, and Jantar Mantar also you cannot protest beyond like 5 o'clock in the evening. So the guidelines were very much clear. So that day we had to we have to keep protesting with the police. We have to pushing ourselves that okay, we will not leave this place. Later onwards, we were given the idea that you can be shift to this Ramla Maidan. Let us go there. You go there. It was a suggestion by the police department that you must go there because this protest site belongs to everybody and you are occupying it like, and so nobody can protest here at all. But we were adamant on not to listening to the police, and we were so adamant that we did not vacate the place. We were afraid of like people like police can detain us or they can crack down on us. Before the Parliament march, this 20th July call, every other day we used to have this fear that this day, this night, that night, every day things were like information was coming to us that tonight 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, there might be police detention, and we used to be awake all nights just to prevent that something like this should not happen. And immediately we could see that there was one day where we were like little bit careless, we could say, because obviously we were spending our nights like this, so we were a little bit careless. Obviously, we were tired as well. In Delhi, protesting in a like 45 degrees Celsius, and that too in a very humid atmosphere, it was very difficult for us to sustain for 1 month. And then there we saw that on 17th of July, Sonam Wangchuk was abducted by Delhi police. He was taken to the hospital forcefully. And the police gave they clearly mentioned that the court has given us order to take Sonam Wangchuk to the hospital. His vitals were not that much critical. They could have avoided abducting Sonam Wangchuk, but that was a misstep taken by the government, and that changed the entire narrative of the protest, entire narrative. Because just before that only his health started deteriorating and his photos were circulated on social media and people started sympathizing with the protest. Now, this was not, I would tell you very frankly, and people know about it very well, that to sustain the protest, it was the left student organization which sustained the protest. Like, because till this was happening, when Sonam got abducted by Delhi police, till then we were the force which we were driving the protest. We were keeping the momentum going on. We were keeping the Jantar Mantar site area vibrant so that people can participate in good numbers. They should feel that the protest is going on there. So all those efforts, and the credit can go to the left organizations because we were doing so. But the 17th July abduction, that was not something which government of India should have done, because that the same day only all of us sat on hunger strike, like many people from every organization. Abhijit gave a call that he was very emotionally charged, and nothing was discussed, and he suddenly gave the call that we will sit on hunger strike. So from every organization, we gave our comrades for the hunger strike purpose, and everybody sat on hunger strike the same day. And when Abhijit sat on hunger strike, we could clearly see the difference between the protests. Like after the abduction of Sonam Wangchuk, before the abduction of Sonam Wangchuk, we could clearly see. We could not see that there were slogans on the stage that against the RSS, the BJP, but we could not see from the people, from the public, we could not see the slogan of Modi Hatao Desh Bachao. It was we could see the difference very clearly, that people started raising slogans spontaneously, Modi Hatao Desh Bachao, and there was a widespread response to it, and people started coming in more numbers. The Jantar Mantar was started filling like full. People were staying all night there. We used to stay all night. So people started coming in more numbers. Very interestingly, on 19th of July, we were afraid that it was Abhijit, and we were sitting on the stage. I was like very few occasions I was on the stage because we were dealing with so many things at the same time, and we could not get the time to sit on the stage. Very few occasions I was present there. At some maybe around 12 something, at midnight we were discussing that what will happen tomorrow. Parliament march call was given. We were trying to coordinate with the nearby states, the student organization, using our contacts, our organizations, that we should mobilize people. We were trying for that. But no, Abhijit mentioned that if some 10,000, 15,000 people won't come to Delhi, then there is no point of doing the protest. Because everybody was so disappointed because the government of India was not giving any response to us. They were not ready to have a dialogue with us. So obviously we were like, what to do? Like we were so disappointed, and we thought that if people are coming, even Sonam Wangchuk said this when he was taken to the hospital. He was not ready to break his fast, and he mentioned that if people are not coming, then there is no point of living. Like there is no value to my life. I'm risking my life here, and people are not coming. Then there is no point. So like this, that atmosphere was there, and we were like figuring out what will happen. But we could see that crowd was coming to Jantar Mantar. We could see that if that same evening only, we could see that people are coming. The same evening, we could see that there were trucks outside Jantar Mantar area filled with stones. There was one vehicle which was completely broken, and that was like basically installed there. So we knew that maybe tomorrow this some clash may happen, and all the blame of the clash will be put on the students, and they might try to portray it as a like students started the violence, and the police had no choice but to crack down on the students. So midnight, that video was released from the Cockroach Janata Party's official pages. That see that vehicle is there, that truck filled with the stones. It was still there, and how it can just come nearby Jantar Mantar area when the protest is going on, and how is the police allowing that vehicle to stay here? The responses given by the police department was so lame that okay, it's a construction material, like this. They gave the excuses, but we were afraid that something might happen because were coming in big numbers. We asked police to expand the barricading, and there these right wing elements and the police played their game. When we asked them to expand the barricading area, they removed the metal detectors. They removed everything. Like there was no security check at all. For hours, there was no security check. So anybody, even the metros were closed. And when the metros are closed and the people are coming by road, they can bring anything with them. Because at least in metro stations, they will be scrutinized. If some metal related things are there, they will be kept outside. Metros were closed, and the protest area, to enter the protest area, there was no restriction at all. People can come in big numbers and they can do anything they want. It was when we discussed, we got to know that 2 to 3,000 people related to BJP RSS, they were sent purposefully to the protest to cause the problem. And that happened. The next day, we could see the visuals of people attacking police. They were not the students, they were not the protesters, because for 1 month, people were sitting there peacefully, and there was no point of stone pelting on the police. Even I could see, I have seen that police were stoning students. I saw it with my own eyes. When the Jantar Mantar, that 20th, estimation, the police estimation is around 5 to 6 lakh students were there on the 20th July protest. It was too huge. We never imagined, because we were worried that even if some 10,000 people are coming, it's good for us. At least we can go for a parliament match. Otherwise, police will not allow us to go like outside Jantar Mantar. So, but lakhs of students suddenly they were literally sleeping around the Jantar Mantar area, the Kanal Place area, Janpat area, metro station, nearby metro station, on the roads. Lakhs of people came to New Delhi with just one demand, that Pradhan should resign. To just demand that accountability must be ensured. And the very next day, when we were not able to decide whether the Parliament March will happen or not, because we hardly had 200, 300 volunteers. And this much big crowd to manage, it was beyond our control. It was beyond our expectation. We were surprised. At the same time, we were happy as well. But we were also afraid that what will happen. People started fainting just because of the suffocation. Before the Parliament March started, people started fainting because there was no ventilation in that area. Barricading was everywhere. And because of the suffocation, people fainted. And then when the call was given spontaneously that, okay, because there was no other option, people were like, there would have been a stampede-like situation if the call was not given. So the call was given that Parliament match will start. There were two, three places through people started rallying towards the parliament. One way, the leadership of the CJP, they were there on the vehicle, and that started behind this Kerala House area. They started marching through that road. From Tolstoy Marg, one march started marching. So this way, people, and still when that march started, I was there on the stage. I could see that people are still there at Jantar Mantar protest at the main stage area, and people were not listening. They wanted to just go to the parliament. It was so intense situation for us that people are so excited to visit the parliament once in their life. At least they will get to visit the parliament, and they wanted to ensure that their demand should be raised inside the parliament at all cost. So they were so enthusiastic. And if we had not, we were like, we avoided, no, if we had avoided giving the call, things would have also gone messy. So we had no option but to go for it. When we went for the parliament march, that scene which I saw, I would say, to many, it was so traumatizing experience. There is one movie on anti-Vietnam War protest. It's called The Trial of Chicago 7. It is there on Netflix. You can watch it. I could clearly relate to that movie because there you could find police, the soldiers without name tags. They were deployed to disturb these students' protests. They were clearly given instructions to beat the students up and put the blame of everything on the students. So the riots were caused by the police, and the blame was put on the students. So I could clearly relate the way police behaved that day. There were no name badges. The force they used on the students, that was not the force which is being used when we want to disperse the crowd. When you want to disperse the crowd, you will use a very light force just to scare people, so people will run away. But you want lathi charge in a manner. No, to, like, they were determined to break the legs of the people. They were determined to, they literally attacked people in such a way that their heads got broken up, their legs got broken up, massive injuries happened. Girls were sexually harassed by the Delhi police and RAF persons. It was so unfortunate. Girls were literally sexually harassed. Some of our comrades, which formed a human chain to protect the male students, they were by male police only, male RAF persons only. They were pushed against their chests. And they were harassed like anything. They were beaten up. They were beaten up. They were like lathi charged heavily. Without, like, the instructions were very clear that go beat those students up. They should not they should not think that they should never do any practice in their life. The way that force was there, and they were clearly instructed that go have the lathi charge in such a way that everybody should leave the place, and then they did it. When lathi charge happened, I was on the stage, and it was so intense situation when there was no phone call, like network was not available. It was jammed. There was no coordination between the different marches they were going on there. Somehow navigated the crowd, and I reached the vehicle where Abhijit and other people were there. I said, what to do now? What to do? Because people are starting getting there. They were getting frustrated. They wanted to go to the parliament, and we were asking them to be on the stage area. We were asking them to be quiet and just sit there. So we discussed and we decided, okay, we will sit there. Within no time, around 4 o'clock in the evening, the police, they were anyway lathi charging nearby like areas. They were brutally beating up the students. But when I was on the stage 4 o'clock the same day, police started tear gassing heavily on both sides, and suddenly, with a determination, they started attacking the students. There was this is the stage area, na? There was a barricading nearby stage area which was done for the security purpose to protect the main stage. When police started lathi charging, na, that entire barricading people fell on each other. Now, the casualties could have been more worse. No, people could have died that day because of the stampede. Within no time, they reached the stage. They tried beating up the students. They beat up the students. We were hardly 5-6 people left on the stage, which was there. And our comrades, our AISF comrades who were there on hunger strike, they could not even end their hunger strike because there was no time for us at all. They were sitting below the stage. We somehow lift them up so that we could get some time to safeguard them. At least we'll set them away from the police. There were girls, hardly 18-year-old, injured, injured students who were beaten up by the lathi charge. They were sleeping there. People who were on hunger strike, they were sitting there. Everybody, we have to lift them, and somehow we have to vacate the place. And whenever we were vacating the place, that time also police did not stop lathi charging students. So if your intention was to disperse the crowd, things could have been handled in a much better way, but that was not their intention. One of the senior police officer asked me when we came out of Jantar Mantar, he said that you people have destroyed the lives of many. I said, we didn't do anything. We were just protesting peacefully. It was you, your government, which did it. Don't put the blame on us. But we could see that they have that. Even Comrade Santosh, our member of parliament, he tried, because we were so worried that something may happen. Something may happen like more worse to the to the students after the 20th July crackdown. Police commissioner, the new police commissioner, was so convinced that the students attacked the police personnel. He was so convinced. He was so convinced that they have to use the force if possible, but they will not go back. They were convinced. It was students who stone pelted the police. In front of me, there are people with civil uniform, carrying sticks, beating up people, and the police persons were giving in them free hand. One of our comrades, our president of Maharashtra AISF, he was taken to the Parliament Street police station. He was beaten up like anything, but by the person who was not in uniform at all. Who he was, nobody knows. So the police atrocity happened that day. There were girls who were beaten up and they had their injuries on the neck. They were seriously admitted in the ICUs. They could have died. So that day, when Lathi Charge happened, the same day, the same night, we decided to reclaim the Jantar Mantar protest site. We reclaimed the site. And you know what? Most surprisingly, police used their force. They tried to break our strength. But the lathi charge made us stronger, and the people were now ready to take the bullets as well. People are saying, don't lathi charge us, shoot us if you want to, but we will not leave this place. That was the determination that I saw that time. And it was so surprising, and obviously government had to worry about it. Government had to worry about it because people were not ready to vacate the place at all. They were not ready to go an inch back. They were not ready at all. And when people with such a determination are there on the streets, government, they have to have the fear. They had that fear because the IB clearly reported to Home Ministry that within 10 days, some 10 lakh people are expected to come to Delhi. And IB warned Ministry of Home Affairs that things can turn like Nepal and Bangladesh. So please be careful. You handle this situation carefully. That was the reporting given by IB to the Home Ministry. And they saw that when students are ready to take the bullets, there is nothing that you can do. People reached to the parliament. They were hardly 100 meters away from the parliament block. That was the determination they had. So once you can do the lathi charge, you can beat people like anything. You can beat people like animals. But when you have it, we are done with it, when people are no longer afraid of your force, then you can't do anything. And that was the game-changing element for this protest, and that awakened the soul of this nation, that awakened the soul of the people of India, that this shouldn't have happened. There are our children who were there and they were beaten up in such a bad way. This shouldn't have happened. And that turned the entire anger of people against Modi and Amit Shah. Now even they wanted to have the resignation of PM Modi and Amit Shah. They were not limiting themselves to the resignation of Pradhan. And they were shouting so many bad slogans, like we would say bad words, slogans, very derogatory remarks against PM Modi in front of police people. They were not afraid. Want to shoot us. So that movement was something which turned this movement into a mass movement, and people took this movement in their hands. From abduction of Sonam Wangchuk, the character of this movement completely changed. It was the left student organization and the CJP which sustained the movement. But after the abduction of Sonam Wangchuk, that movement did not just belong to us. The people took this movement into their control. And that's how we could see that the minister, education minister Pradhan, resigned from his position, because we were expecting that on 2nd of August we will go for PMO march. We were planning for it, and the same day we got to know that Pradhan has finally resigned from his position. So I would say that this movement helped us more in understanding the frustration and anger of the people, and like, this movement could have been easily derailed by the people, but I don't feel that we need a uprising like Nepal and Bangladesh. I don't think we need that. We need people who are determined for the cause, united for the cause. And if that can happen, anything can happen, because nobody expected that this movement might become a mass movement, but that became. Nobody expected that. So from our side, All India Students Federation, we always had this understanding that our job is to guide the movement, our job is to sustain the movement, our job is to make the movement more vibrant and take our struggle ahead. We never wanted to capture the stage, because that was happening. On Jantar Mantar, this opportunistic elements are always there in every protest. They tried to hijack the protest, they tried to do certain things. But AISF was the force which was communicating with all the stakeholders. We were the balancing force of the protest, I would say that. And that was a big, achievement for us, because our people, no, I would say this movement has strengthened our organization as well. Because the people who have seen the horror of the Delhi police, now they are like, I don't think they will ever be worried of the police brutality in future. Not just our students, our comrades. The way Lathi happened, I don't think the people who have suffered from it will never bow down to the government again. Now their language is so different. Maybe most of the people do not know what does that mean. The language is so different. The Gen Z language, you could say. And no, their expression is so different. They used to, like, that protest area was like a festival. That had become a festival. People were singing songs, dancing. They were literally playing there. They were playing football. They were playing cricket. They were dancing. They were singing. So, this generation, maybe they have realized that protests can be a little bit casual as well. They should not be always very serious in their nature. Through all these activities, also protests can happen. So this message has been given, and I'm so fortunate that the Communist Party of India also extended their full-fledged support to this movement, and that was very much important. Even though when we had our felicitation at CPI headquarters, New Delhi, Ajay Bhavan, there we invited Saurav Das, one of the chief spokesperson of the CJP. When he came to the party office, this right-wing machinery immediately started spreading rumors. The CJP's left alliance exposed, like this, all kind of bullshit they started. Even the organizer, their mouthpiece, RSS mouthpiece, criticized CJP, AISF, and CPI for the association and everything. But I would say that left parties, especially the Communist Party of India, in support to the movement, it was very much vital, because when nobody wanted to take the position, it was the communist parties in this country who took the clear-cut stand and who stood with the movement. So again, I would like to thank you for inviting me here. There are a lot of things to discuss. I don't think that I'll get a time to express each and everything, every aspect of the protest. But I'm definitely grateful for this opportunity, and if possible, in future, maybe if I get a chance to speak to you, all of you again, I would be so glad. So thank you so much, comrades, for having me. Thank you so much, Nikhil Alexander.